Hi, it's me again, Dr. Anthony VT, your expert behavioral analyst, licensed global coach, and your directional strategist, maximizing that full potential. Today we're looking at the acronym TEACH. We're speaking about the context of product. So what can your product teach anybody else? Well, let's first go back to the root of the word teach. Where does it come from? It actually means cause to learn, which means that your product can be a cause to learn in the effect of the consumer. Now, sometimes it is an educational product. Yes, that's natural for cause to learn. But therefore, when it comes to the normal product, like you have a product on the shelf in the retail store, you'll normally find that there's a little garment on the inside, a label that is there to teach you about that garment. So on that garment, the label is there to teach you about the garment. So even there. And also when it comes to social media, you sometimes will have a little scroll that comes up that says something about the person, that's teaching you about who is speaking. So that when it comes to a product, whether you're the product, whether you have a product on the shelf, or whether you just have a product that is out in the marketplace, it will teach people something. Let's look at the acronym today. The first letter T. T stands for talk. Your product will talk. In fact, it will speak by itself. In the retail realm, we speak of a shelf talker. When you walk into any supermarket and you're looking for the item that you'd like to buy, there's little shelf talkers that speaks to you. It says to you, hi, my price is. Hi, buy me today. Hi, 2 for the price of 1. So the shelf talker will talk to you about the product. But not only do we have external talking happening, but also have internal talking happening, because when you go to the product, I just said to you now, if it is a garment, you can go to the inside and find a little tag that says washing instructions. It'll teach you about the fabric, the mix of the fabric, and how to treat it. Sometimes you buy a proper suit and it's not good for you just to shove it into a tumble dryer because it will shrink. It actually will say to you, do not tumble dry. And people look at the garment care instructions and they go, oh, how serious is this? Well, after a while you find that your clothing just do not fit you anymore. That's what happened. You ignore the instructions because it's talking to you. Please treat me in the following way. So use your products to speak to you. But also, it will talk a language to people. When people walk in any supermarket, in any retail mall, your merchandise will speak to people. It is as if it will catch your attention, like I spoke before, the winner wrestler before. That person has got the job to make you receive a language. It has to cause you to learn about the product by visual impact. You walk past, you stop, say, whoa, that looks striking. Yes, that looks good. And it's like your mind is taking a picture from the top to the bottom and equating to, would I look good in this or not? It talks to you. Now, the way that you carry your product, I mean, you are a product. Are you carrying yourself in such a way that you talk to people? Does your posture speak to people? Well, that's one of the things. You are the product. Make sure that people will talk about you and make sure that that is positive talk. Because as you know, if you're not good enough, there'll be negative talk. The same as you have a product that is on the shelf, that's for sale, people buy it, they use it, and they're just not happy with the quality. They will then talk negatively about the quality of your product. So yes, whether you like to know, in the word teach, your product talks to the world. That is true. That rolls into the next letter of the acronym, and that will go to the E, and the E stands for the letter equate. Now we all know when we do sums, 2 plus 2 equates to 4. So it's an equation. Equation means a result. Now your product that's on the shelf, because it's talking to people, literally equates to a result. It equates to the fact that when the person picks it up, the first thing is the feel. Some people will pick up a shirt and go, ooh, coarse feeling, don't like it. Then they get to these little woolly, fluffy blankets. They pick it up, and I've actually seen customers in the store go like, oh, this is so beautiful, because it literally equates to a value add without even saying a word, because just of the feel. Now, when it comes to the senses, when it comes to the retail market, even the wholesale market, it's all about how your product will teach subconsciously what value add it has. Therefore, it's in the touch. It's sometimes in the smell. Let's talk about a bakery. I mean, who can drive past a bakery like, oh, smell that beautiful bread? It's tough. And a coffee shop. Because you see, in that coffee shop, what is your coffee teaching you? It's talking to you and it's equating to a result of, I want coffee. Well, it's doing a good job, isn't it? But here is the reverse of that. If your product has got no appeal, if your product does not speak to you, doesn't talk to the people, if it doesn't equate to a value add, then why would people want to buy it? I mean, you've gone through the deliberation of your mind tank, you've gone through putting it together, you've bounced it with other people, you've tested it in the market, and you'll soon see whether your product is in demand or not. Now you can actually, even if the product's not in demand, you can actually bring awareness to it, because with awareness will equate to further sales. Marketing will equate to sales. So it's really a process of events. It's not always just walking to the shelf and people buying it. What if your product is brand new and people have not been exposed to it before? Well, get in there, do your thing. Let them know about your product. Get them the equation of the product equals value. If they have that, it starts going into their mind, and you have what we've done, we call that a paradigm shift. You have to paradigm shift the mind to make people believe they want your product. So does your product equate to value? I hope it does. And if it doesn't, sit down, back to the drawing board, and we call that go back to basics, and make sure that you find out what do you want it to communicate to people. Let it talk to people and let it equate to a value add. That's how your product can teach people something. Next letter, the A. Now you'll see that this is, again, the letter here in the middle always just says something about the nucleus of every acronym that I teach. Because it's that little tick over factor. And that says if you have this, you have the it factor. The it factor in the word teach, right now for me, is the word awesome. Your product has to be awesome, dude. You want to make sure that when people go into the store, they say they love it. I mean, I can just think of the advertising. There's even a record about baby's got a blue juice and the blue juice makes you talk. I mean, go and get the verse. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And it even speaks to you. Why? Because the ad is awesome. And it speaks about Levi Denims that is absolutely brilliant. Whatever brand it is out there and it speaks to you because it's an awesome product. Now, I want that jump out or that shout out factor for your product. That's why we're busy in this series. We spoke about sales and we're busy now with product in terms of what are the characteristics that you need, that your product needs, so that you can reach your clients. Because it doesn't help for the product to lie on the shelf and no one buys it. But one thing I can guarantee you, if you have this factor, the awesome factor, it will sell by itself. I mean, just think of your favorite sweet. It might be, let's take something silly, your M&Ms. It's just when they put in M&M, you can be blindfolded and go, oh, chocolate M&M. Okay, you can't say what color it is always, but you know it is an M&M. Now that is the power of an awesome product. You know blindfolded what it is. The same with certain smells. I mean, you can identify certain things by smell. And not always just by sight. Now that says you have the awesome factor. So I want to encourage you. Ask yourself, and you've never done this maybe, and ask yourself, what do we need to do to make our product awesome? What do we need to add to it? What do we need to put into it? What do we need to extract from it? Let's make it awesome. That's why perfume plays such a vital role. Any man that I know that will walk past a woman and there's just that slight little beautiful, awesome smell, it just speaks to you because we are sensory people. We have senses and that will definitely speak to us. So make sure that the awesomeness of your product speaks to people and equates to value. Be awesome. Now the next one on the acronym is the word C for the word cause. What cause does your product answer to? What cause does it serve? Now, for instance, if you're going to go and climb Kilimanjaro in Africa, you want to make sure that you cause to have the right product. And I'm teaching you now that you'll walk into a store and say, I'm going to climb the mountain and I need trousers that are waterproof on the outside, but yet will not make me perspire on the inside. So the cause and the effect is experienced in the apparel that you're buying. So you want to make sure that the cause for which the product was made is experienced in the correct way. The same as a consumable. fresh vegetables. It will cause you that you will have to buy it within a specific period, otherwise it will expire. Yes, you and I know it's not healthy to eat anything beyond the expiry date for health reasons. So it will cause you to take certain action in a specific way. We're busy teaching you the parameters of the product. Little nuances that will take you to the next level. When you ask yourself, when it comes to cause, what is the true cause of my product? Is it causing people to buy? Is it causing people to speak to each other? You know, they speak about word of mouth advertising. I want to implore you, make sure that your product is so awesome from the previous point that it will cause the public to speak about it. In fact, whenever you've seen a great movie, like I'll never forget when I saw a fantastic movie and I just had to walk out the next day and tell everybody, I said, man, you have to see it. The actors were awesome, the guy's voice, it was just, man, it's a movie for every man to see. And that's the movie Gladiator. Well, that caused me to become advertising and marketing to other people, which means that product is teaching others by me. That's exactly what your product has to do. Make sure it resonates with people. Make sure it causes you to teach people about your product. You have so many choices of what you can do with your product group, but this teaching is all about making sure that you go through every one of these acronyms and checking yourself back and saying, how can we cause our product to go next level? Now, the same way as you have word of mouth, when it comes to social media and it comes to online and internet marketing, it's now called word of mouth. Make sure that you know how to use word of mouth. That will teach you how to go to the next level. That will teach the people that you're working with what to do. That's right, you do use your word of mouth. So, the last letter in the acronym, let's just go back. The T was for talk. Make sure that your product talks. It must be audible. Make sure that it equates to value. Make sure that when people pick up, they can go, awesome. Oh, there's nothing like it. This is an awesome product. Then, the cause. It needs to cause the people to action. It needs to cause them to buy. Then lastly, and this is the test, how successful has this acronym been? Did you really teach it the right way? Well, if your product teaches the market in a specific way, this is what we'll do. You'll hear about it. You'll hear people talk about your product. You'll hear people speak to other people about you. If you are the product, if you are a public figure, if you start doing something consistently, adding value, more than, people start speaking about you. And they will hear about you. They'll hear about you in the tabloids, they'll hear about you in the newspapers, and you know what? They'll hear of you on the television later on. That's just how it works. It's all up to you. Literally, the market will teach you, add value more than expected, and people will hear about you. Wouldn't you love that? Don't you think it's time that you take your life seriously? Look at the product. If the product is you, look at an overall. Look at a makeover, for heaven's sake. If you need a haircut, go for a haircut. If you need to buy some new clothing and apparel, do so. If you need to go and have your mind changed, do so. Because you want people to hear about you. So do whatever it takes. Just get in there and do it. That's the choice that you have. You can go to the next level. And I'm teaching you right now how to do that if you are the product. If your product's on the shelf, you want to ask yourself, how will people hear about it? Will people talk about it? And in fact, it's as easy as walking into a supermarket. There's normally a sign and you look up and there it says cereals, and you know to go into there because literally as that talks to you, you're hearing. Can you see there's an exchange of communication from the first talk to here? That's exactly what's happening here. In the word teach, it starts with talking, speaking to you so that you hear. Now, encapsulated in that obviously is the word marketing. But that's not for today. When we get to that section, we'll speak about the difference between marketing and sales, because right now we are talking about product and what product is teaching you. Well, this is me. Remember, learn every day, lead yourself, and inspire others. This is Dr. Anthony VT. See you next time.